Welcome back from an ad break. We are still continuing with our exam guide for business studies paper 1. So now we're going to be looking at the taxonomy levels. We'll be looking at the action verbs. Very important that you understand the action verbs. And then I'm going to give you the general tips for answering paper 1. All right, these are our taxonomy levels. Remember I said to you for section A will be mostly it's from level 1 and level 2. Therefore, in level 1, it's just the knowledge or remembering. Remember those were the objective questions. So, and then level 2, comprehension or understanding, which is 30 marks, and it is what? 30% of your exam. And then we're moving on to level 3, which is the application or applying knowledge, and level 4, which is your analysis. Then this is what your section B, and it takes up what? 50%. It takes up 50% of the exam. So the majority goes into section B. Actually, remember there's 40 marks for each, and you have to answer only or any 2 questions rather. And then lastly, your essay questions, whereby we are assessing insight and to see if you are able to interpret the knowledge, right, or the information there. So here it's your synthesis or evaluating, level 6, which is evaluation or creating. So this is 20% of your work, or 20% of the marks rather for this. So this is your taxonomy levels for paper 1. The action verbs, like I said, very important. Action verbs, so when a question says name or give or list, what does it mean? When they say name or give or list, you just have to state something. You are just stating, you are giving, you are identifying, or you're just mentioning. When they say outline, you give a summary using main points and leaving out minor. When they say quote, so you take the answer verbatim from the scenario or case study or extract word for word. You're not taking out anything. You're not giving a half of the information because maybe thinking time is not on your side. No, you are quoting. You take it as is from the scenario that you'll be given. Then you'll get full marks for that. When they say define, you give a concise and clear meaning. When they say discuss the impact, so you hear, don't forget, impact refers to what? It refers to the positives and or negatives. So here we're looking at what? We're talking about the advantages and what? And the disadvantages. So these are the benefits basically, or the challenges, disadvantages. So when they say discuss the impact, you're just applying the positives and or the negatives. When they say distinguish or differentiate, you explain the differences between concepts. Normally, sometimes it would be wise to do it in the form of a table, but if it's not in the form of a table, it's fine. You will not be penalized for that. So the difference or distinction does not have to link, but the difference must be clear. You cannot differentiate. You cannot use differentiate between an eye and a nose. Those two things are not the same. So you're looking at an eye with an eye to understand the left ear with the right ear, something like that. So we're looking at the differences. I'm not sure if I'm helping. All right, and then the other one, the action verb would be calculate. So you need to find an answer using a mathematical method. And then when they say to elaborate, so here you explain a little bit further, unlike just defining. So here you are elaborating, you are expanding on your definition or on your explanation. Normally you get a question that says elaborate. So just know that you have to go a bit further. And then when they say evaluate the impact, so here you're going to give the positives and or negatives. When they say recommend, you have to provide your own opinion with a valid argument, meaning valid argument, it has to be factual. The argument, it has to have facts. Right, and then when they say apply, you're going to use the knowledge or skill to solve a particular problem. When they say motivate, you are supporting your argument, normally taking a positive or a negative stance. So it is totally up to you. And then here we're looking at tabulate. When they say tabulate, explain the differences between 2 concepts and they must link That is very, very important. Lastly, we're looking at the general tips for answering paper 1. These are the tips. Read instructions carefully. You cannot just start by answering the questions without reading the instructions. Instructions will tell you the structure to say it consists of section A, B, and C. A is compulsory. B has got 3 questions. You are required to answer any 2. And then section C has got 2 questions. You are required to answer any one of the 2. So read the instructions carefully. Time management. Remember we said it's 2 hours. 2 hours long. So don't think that 2 hours is a lot. So you need to plan your time carefully or plan it properly so that you don't run out of time and come out and say, I did not finish, I could not do an essay, or I could not do section B. Remember, it carries lots of marks. Start with question 1 and write only one response in this section. For example, the answer is A. So, and you're not sure, you cannot say A and B. You cannot. And you find that in the memo, the answer is actually A. Everything here will be regarded as incorrect because there's only one answer for section A. You cannot have 2 answers. Right, lastly here, read and underline the keywords. Very important that you read and underline the keywords. When you're reading, it helps you to understand the questions. Right, we've come to the end of our exam guide. I hope you understand. I hope you are ready to go and write your exam. And from me, Miss Maboe, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.